Is it still possible to buy a freehold property in Toronto under $1 million? And the answer is yes. In fact, so far this year in 2023, there has been 166 properties sold in the real city of Toronto between $800,000 and $1 million that were freehold properties. And I thought it would be interesting in this video to show you where these properties exist in the city, because I've been having a lot of conversations with clients to start this year that they're looking to kind of jump up from the property that they're in, whether that is a condo or a townhouse, and they want to jump to freehold, but their budget is limiting them in terms of what their options are. And they're trying to think, okay, well, if I'm going to make this move and I have to buy sub $1 million, which is going to be pre-approval amount, or you don't want to put the 20% down, so you can't go over $1 million, what are your options? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Tom Storey. I'm a real estate agent and team leader here in the city of Toronto. And if you get any value out of this video, all I ask is you hit that like button. And if you have not already, make sure to subscribe and join our growing community. After watching this video, you can also go into the first link in the description. You can book a buyer call, a seller call, or a discovery call directly with me to chat about your real estate goals. All right, so what I wanted to break down in this video is basically 4 different things. Number 1 is just show you the history in terms of what it cost to buy a property in Toronto the last 20, 30 years, because I've been doing this for 10 years now. Earlier on in my career, I was selling freehold properties for like $500,000, and now there's not a ton available under $1 million. So it's really interesting to see what the prices have done. Number 2 is I want to show you a map of Toronto for the 166 properties that have sold this year under $1 million that were freehold, and show you where they are located. Number 3, we're going to show you what it would actually cost if you were to buy one of these properties on a monthly payment basis. And then number 4, we're going to dig even further into the statistics on specifically where these homes exist. By the way, just wanted to say thank you. So far this year, the channel growth has been really, really cool to see. And the amount of you that have reached out to me from watching these videos has been awesome. And I've really enjoyed those conversations and the relationships that we've built. So just wanted to say thank you. Okay, first off, I want to jump into a chart here. And basically this is showing the annual average sale price on the Toronto Real Estate Board going back to 1975. Now, the reason that I'm showing you this chart is not to make some type of realtor bias statement that prices always go up, because they don't always go up. In fact, as you can see here, they went very, very high in 1989 and then took almost a decade to get back to that peak. So prices go up and down, but they go up and down, at least recently, in an upwards direction, if that makes any sense. You can also see at the top here, 2021 average price was much higher than 2022. And at least from what I've seen so far this year, is that I don't think you're going to see massive growth or massive declines on housing in 2023, specifically in the city of Toronto. I have no clue if it's bottomed out yet or if there's still a whole bunch more time to go here. Only time will tell. But as you can see, prices are significantly down from last year at the peak. And right now we are hovering just over $1 million for the average property. Now that is including townhouses and condo townhouses, where today's video, we're just going to focus on freehold properties. Now, I did a search today, and there's been 166 freehold properties between $800,000 and $1 million that have sold so far this year. I want to show you where those exist. Okay, so we're going to make this bigger here. Okay, so basically what we're going to do is we're going to go look on this map, and all these red dots are where properties have sold under $1 million. So as we zoom in here, you see there's not a ton in the downtown core, probably because there's not really a lot of freehold properties in the downtown core. If you go over to the East End, you can see Scarborough, you can see Danforth, Upper Beaches area, not a lot in the Beaches or Leslieville. And then if we go over here and go down a little bit, you got Weston, you got York, you got all these different areas. There's actually a few in Parkdale as well that sold under $1 million. Now, a lot of these properties that didn't have potentially like finished basements or parking or things like that, but this is giving you a kind of an overall idea. All these properties have sold since January the 1st. 2023. So these are all recent. This isn't last year's data. This is as up to date as it possibly could be in the real city of Toronto. Then I thought it'd be interesting to show you what would it actually cost to own these properties. Now, I want to say something before I go over these numbers with you. Rarely ever in my career have I had someone come to me saying, Tom, I want to buy my first property and it's $1 million budget. That has rarely ever happened. Typically, people are starting With condos, they are holding them for 3 to 5 years and they're jumping up to a townhouse and then they are making this move. The property that I just bought was my 4th move to kind of get to the property I wanted at the beginning, but it took me 8 years. So I just wanted to make that clear at the beginning. Because I think a lot of people are going to say, well, where's the down payment coming from? And realistically, it's coming from the equity of the property you bought 5 years ago, or some people are fortunate in life situations where they have that help from family. Okay, so let's run some numbers. So let's go at 800,000 because there were actually a few that sold for 800,000. We're going to plug that in here. Now, a few other things we're going to do. We're going to pick 25-year amortization. We are going to pick, let's pick a 5-year fixed rate of 4.74. Okay, so $800,000. If you were to put down 20%, which is $160,000, your monthly mortgage payments are $3,628. Now let's go to 900,000. So for a $900,000 property, your mortgage is going to be $4,082. Now this is putting 20% down. So you can see over here, we've got 15% down, we've got 10% down, and then the minimum allowable, which at this price point would be 7.22 across that amount of money. With 20% down, it's $4,000 a month. With the minimum down, it is $5,000 a month. Okay, so now let's cover if you bought $1 million property. What you can see is that it changed up here. So now over here is 20%, then 25, 30, 35% down because the minimum that you have to put down on $1 million is 20%. Okay, so we're going to focus on this column here. $1 million at that 25-year amortization at 4.74 is $4,500 a month, obviously with that down payment of $200,000. The last thing I wanted to cover was of these 166 sales, let's get more in depth on the data, okay? So hopefully you can see this okay here. So you can see count right here. So how many properties we're looking at is 166. The actual sold price average was $911,000. The median was $922,000. If you look at the list versus sale price metric, they were getting 100% on average and they were getting 98% on median. The taxes were around $3,300 across the board. Now I'll pull your attention over here on the right side. So we're going to go all the way down to the bottom first. Okay, so townhouses or attached or row was 18. Detached was 99 of the 166. Semi-attached was 49. Okay. 2-story represented 54. And the biggest was bungalow at 59 of these properties. Now on this side, you can see the city was Toronto at the top, but where are these actually located? Because it's kind of all spread out. So I wanted to focus on the areas that had at least more than 4 sales. So Corso Italia, Davenport had 5 transactions. Okay. As we go down here, well, Downsview had 4, so we'll highlight that as well. Jane Heights had 7 sales. As we keep going down here, the Malvern area had 6 sales, and there was one that reached double digit. Oakwood Village has 10 sales already this year. So what this is telling me is that if you are interested in a freehold property under $1 million, Oakwood Village is where the most of them are currently available. Thanks for watching that video. I hope you found it informative. If you have any questions at all or want me to get into more detail on anything specifically that you're going through right now, put it in the comments. I'd love to hear what you guys have to say. Have an amazing day. My name is Tom Storey, and remember, home is where your story begins.